Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone live on this Thursday evening. Sorry about that. We're just having a few little technical issues, but we are live. Welcome. So, as you all know from last night, we're going to have 8 doctors and 2 fake doctors do a show tonight on BBC. It's tonight, folks, for anybody. It's actually kicking off now, 7 p.m. I'm not watching it. I'm live with you guys anyway. I'll have a look at it later, see what all the fuss is about. But we will discuss the fact that Christopher Eccleston is a no-show. I have been told not to be too harsh on him because apparently he has been really, really hurt by the BBC. But on the same token, I would say, well, he's a grown feckin' man. And it's been years now. It's time for you to kind of get over it. This is for the NHS staff. I actually want to talk briefly about that. The comparison to the way the American public are treating their medical staff, to the way the medical staff are being treated in Europe as heroes and stuff, and rightly so. But it looks like some sections of American society thinks it's okay to protest against these people. Well, not protest against these people, protest about being in isolation. And then when these doctors then try entertain themselves during a tough crisis, as we know, and they've done a few TikTok videos, and because of that, it's left them open to a bit of scrutiny. Well, they have time to do TikTok videos. Well, then apparently, there's not really a crisis. How stupid are people? The staggering difference between how the Americans are treating their healthcare workers to the way Europe is treating theirs is actually quite staggering. It's disgusting, to be quite honest with you. I don't care if people out there are upset because they're isolated, right? I don't give a flying fuck, right? At the end of the day, I don't want to die. There's people out there that don't want to die, so stop being a selfish knobhead. Yeah? All right? Because at the end of the day, I want to live, and everybody that follows me right now wants to live too. So stop being selfish. It's ridiculous. Right, I've sent the link to Rabbi. Also, we'll have a special guest joining us later. I better actually remind my special guest that I've sent them the link, just so they know that I've sent them the link. I thought I brought up my mobile phone in with me. That's what I went in there for, wasn't it? Hold on. I'll just wait until Rabbi comes on, and then I'll go in and get my phone. Here he is, on cue. Hold on. Welcome, Rabbi. I'll just wait.
Hello. How are
you? Got your sound up again, mate?
Yeah, I was desperately looking for the tab to turn it off, but I just got to it.
Well, great, brilliant, fantastic. Do me a favor there. Just keep everybody entertained there for a second until I get my phone. I forgot my phone, but I already filled them in what we're talking about. So, as you all know anyway, 8 real doctors and 2 fake doctors are actually going to speak to the NHS today in a special message broadcast on BBC, hosted by Lenny Henry, who actually called the BBC out for being a bunch of racist bigots, but he has no problem of taking the paycheck.
Oh, yeah, that's so weird, because surely he must have known.
Of course he did. Of course he did. It was for controversy. So when
surely Chris Chibnall would have told him, "I'll just wait a couple of weeks."
Listen. It was done purposely, right? Because it would have made it look better. Oh, look, we shut Lenny Henry down. That sort of way. Lenny Henry's probably in cahoots because now he's got this job. But also, the big main topic is, right, okay, there's 2 big main topics. Apparently, there's people out there giving out because Joe apparently is doing this video. Now, I've checked on Twitter and I've seen no such evidence, right? I will say most of the accounts that are given out about people that are actually giving out about Joe are actually J-bots. Now, I haven't seen evidence. The only evidence that I've seen is people questioning why she does it. Well, I can answer that. She worked on Holby City, which is a hospital drama. So it actually does make sense that she's doing it. But the big question fans shouldn't be concentrating on her anyway. The big question of the day is why Christopher Eccleston isn't doing this.
Oh, I think he's done with Doctor Who and the BBC.
It
He
doesn't
might do
matter.
a Doctor Who thing to please a fan. I see, and he has done that once at least, maybe twice. But like he's done with the BBC. They screwed him over.
No, I know that. But do you not think he should put personal things aside just for one day?
I
And I want to ask everybody in the chat as well. What do you guys think? Do you think that he should have done this?
I think
he's right not to. If that's how he feels, how do you all feel about that? Because to me, personally, I think he should grow up. Put his personal differences aside for one day. It's just one thing, you know. It's not as if he's going cap into the hand to the BBC. It's for the NHS workers who are actually saving lives.
Maybe they didn't even ask him. There is that too.
He was asked. I was told he was asked. I was given that information because I asked why he wasn't part of it. I checked in with my sources. He was asked.
So, okay.
I was told was too tough on him.
Okay, let's say the worst case scenario is true, right? Then he was asked and he's got bad feelings, and so he didn't do it, right?
Yes, it's still wrong.
No. Here's my thoughts on that. I think that I hope I wouldn't be like that if I was in his position. I can't look down at anybody who is acting like that, who is in that position, because I've never been in it, and I don't think we know the half of it, but he was very upset about something for sure.
Yeah, I don't care. Listen,
and like,
I actually don't care. I don't care. This is for a good cause. I don't care if you're having problems with the BBC. I don't care if it's being broadcast on the BBC. Right? Bottom line is, this is for charity. He's alive. He played the Doctor. He should be doing it. The rest of them have decided to do it. He should have done it. He was asked. He turned it down politely. I don't care if he turned it down politely. I don't care if you've had personal issues with the BBC that go back donkey's years. This was for a good cause, and he chose not to do it. Even Catherine Tate, for God's sake, and others that were part of Doctor Who are joining in on this, and he didn't bother his arse. Peter Capaldi is even making an appearance tonight. Peter Capaldi, this is the only time that we'll get all these doctors in one place, right? This will never happen again. Never happen again.
I'm not saying your argument's bad. I'm just saying, like, I can't condemn him for it. But I'm not disagreeing with you.
What do you guys in the chat, right? Fair, I know you're not, and I know I'm a bit animated, but you know I respect your opinion, but I just think it's wrong on this one because in fairness, he should be doing this. I'm sorry, there is no excuse anymore. He's ran out of excuses now. I'm sorry, get over your little hump. We all have problems in life. We all get through them. We all move on. By the sounds of things, to me, he hasn't moved on. Well, grow up. The fans, you know what? This was his chance. He's blowing it now. Don't give a flying fuck what he does anymore. He could turn up to all the cons. If I were you, I wouldn't give him any money. He's looking for 90 odd quid for a photograph and an autograph anyway, right? He's a robbing bastard. He charges more than any other doctor, but yeah, he doesn't go and do things like this. So no.
How much does he charge for an autograph?
90 quid. 90 quid. I did a video on it. We did a video on it last year when he came back into the fandom. He was charging 90 quid more than anybody other doctor. More than even fucking Matt Smith and David Tennant. Right? He's a greedy.
Is that like an autograph and a picture as well, or just
it's an autograph, a picture, whatever it is. But at 90 quid he's charging. We did a video on it last year. It's probably still up. Have a look at it. I compared the others, what the others were charging.
Right.
He's charging the most. He's part of the fandom for bleeding 8 years because he didn't want that to do with Doctor Who. But now that he's skint and he had a book to flog, he had no problem. I'm done with Christopher Eccleston. He can go and feck off now as far as I'm concerned. right? I'm not gonna go easy on the man, right? I'm coming down hard on him because he's had years to get over this. Grow the hell up.
Okay, so here's where I am. If I see him, I'm probably not going to buy him a drink. But if he needs a place to stay, he can stay at my place. Okay? That's where I am with him.
You'll always be like that, though. You'll always be like that. And I wouldn't refuse him a place either. But he's still a prick. He's still a prick.
Okay, I think we can say if everything you're saying is correct, and it might well be, he's certainly being a prick about this.
Well, what does everybody in the chat think? Because everybody seems to be very quiet on it. Let me know what you all think. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Rabbi? Do you think I'm being too tough?
What did
Rabbi is being too lenient and looking down on him like I am? Or do you think the both of us are wrong? And where
Here we go.
Guys. Like,
who's not ranting about?
Sorry, I know I'm ranting a bit.
Maybe laugh.
Sorry, you put personal feelings aside. Listen, there's a worldwide pandemic out there. It's killing thousands of people. This was his chance. Now I know why he's really back in the fandom. He's back for money, and he can go and kiss my arse. He's never getting a penny off me. Do you know what?
I mean, are you sure it wasn't like you'd have dinner with him as well? 90 quid is a lot of money.
90 quid? I'd slap him with 90 quid. I'd say,
okay, it was 90 quid for dinner. That sounds really cool. Like there was those conventions, the Battlestar Galactica conventions, where for like an extra £100, you have like private dinner with everyone. Like they have a table like 8 people. And then you got 1 star, and they rotate the tables, and you get to schmooze with them.
I don't think we should pass judgment unless we know the full story on his side. Well, we do, because I have his book, so we do know the story from his side. He is just, even Cheryl, when she kind of reviewed the book, said he was a petulant child. That's what he is. He's a petulant child. He's come back into this fandom because he's stuck for a few quid. Right, he's charging more than other doctors, more recent doctors. I'm sorry, It doesn't cut it anymore. There's no excuse for this man not to be doing this, right? Even Joe, who played the doctor once, right? Everybody slags.
Now they put that in as a middle finger to you,
right? Jodie Whittaker, don't like her, but she's doing it, right? Right, Paul McGann.
Okay, wait, no.
Jodie absolutely anything not to do it than anybody else because the way he was dismissed. So don't be giving me that crap either, right? There is no excuse for this man, and I'm sorry that I'm ranting about it, but that's how I feel about it. He can go and kiss my arse now. He's using this fandom for money because he's skint where he can kiss my arse. Get away. Done with him. Done.
I know. Listen. If he wants to come to Israel and do a show live, I would so see that. I would like if doing Hamlet, or I would so go and see that. Oh my god, I would not boycott him. He's like one of the greatest actors of the age.
Yeah,
seriously,
one of the greatest actors, one of the biggest dickheads as well.
Perform. He's one of the greatest actors greatest living actors. He really is. He's legitimately one of the greatest actors. It's like Tom Hardy. Like I would still watch a movie directed by Mel Gibson because he's still a very good movie director. Every movie he does is pretty darn good.
Yeah, well, everybody in the chat has mixed feelings as well. Well, I mean,
it's not like cut and dry, but I'm like, I would so go and see him if he was in town.
Yeah. BBC are the expert at using fans for money as well. I agree.
That is true.
I agree with that. I agree with that one. Yeah, no, I'm done with him. I'm done. I'll continue to watch along because I do like his stories, but after that, then I'm done with Christopher Eccleston. He's had. But here's the thing, Rabbi. Sorry, he's had over the years, right? This is why, and I think fans are very quick to forget this. Over the years, he's had numerous occasions to be brought back into the fold most recently by Stephen Moffat. And Stephen Moffat said he was 90% in, and then he backed out the last minute. Right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I think
because he
Stephen
wanted a
said
certain
he
director.
would have done it.
And all this again about a certain director. I'm sorry, right? I don't care how good of an actor you are. Stephen Moffat's the showrunner. He wanted you in it. You didn't want to fucking do it. He had to read.
That's not the story. That's not the story Stephen Moffat says. He says that he would have done it if he'd asked him, but he knew he didn't want to do it. But he would have done it, and so he didn't ask him because he knew he didn't want to do it, and that's where the War Doctor came from. Now that seems like a much more realistic story to me.
No, that's not the way I was told it anyway.
That's the way he said it on the DVD on the making of, was it on the Confidential?
Yeah, but then he came out with an article himself. Moffat contradicts himself all the time. I did a video on this at the time. Look, I'm done with Christopher Eccleston. I don't care. Yeah, he can do what he wants. He can, but like I would say to fans, don't give him any money. Don't go and see him at conventions. Why should you? He doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect.
I wouldn't go and see him. Listen, if it was free, I'll go and see him at a convention. But I'm saying, if there's a chance to see him perform, yeah, I totally want to go and see him perform.
Yeah, but nothing to do with Doctor Who. No, nothing. I wouldn't give him a penny. I wouldn't.
This just
they tried on numerous occasions to rope you back in somehow to do some things, and you've turned them down. So I'm done with them. I'm done. Yeah, but Tom Baker came to his senses, didn't he? Tom Baker obviously came to his senses, and Tom Baker has embraced his fandom. And I think Tom Baker has made up pretty much for what he did with the work that he's done over the years for Big Finish and all the other things that he's done.
They talked him into it at last.
The difference is
that he really regrets not doing it now earlier.
Eccleston's available for voice work. Is he doing any of the Christopher Eccleston stories? No, they're getting a voice actor in for that. They're not getting an Eccleston in, so he won't even do Big Finish. So again,
that is weird. I do think he's very, very bitter about Doctor Who. I don't really understand why, but I just know he is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, is anybody watching this crap anyway?
I am. It's like there's literally nothing to see. There's nothing to see.
Oh, have they not even?
There's nothing. It's people standing around. What was one woman wearing this like weird yellow, I don't know, like tablecloth, and now they're talking to I don't know who they are. I think they must be celebrities. One's got red hair, one is a guy, and everybody seems happy to see them. I have no idea who they are. Their hair looks too good though. They must be celebrities.
No idea. By the BBC first into accepting Joe Martin and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Listen, I don't care.
Oh, ridiculous, isn't it?
Now, I do not care. There's a message being put across here.
Yeah, please. At this point, you just roll your eyes.
Why is Joe? I'll tell you why Joe Martin is there. I've explained this already. The reason why Joe Martin is there is because she worked on another BBC hospital drama called Holby City, right? That's why she's doing it, because she worked on a show about the NHS, okay? So that's why she's part of it, right? Now, you need to let your personal agendas go when it comes to Jodie Whittaker and Joe Martin doing this. They're doing it for a good cause, and I think people are being blinded by it. Now, if there is people out there that have been genuinely complaining about Joe Martin doing this, well, I'll say what the J-bots were saying. Go fuck yourself. And that is true. Go fuck yourself, because it's obviously racially motivated, right?
You think?
The reason why people are giving out, like they were giving out about Sasha Jordan the Serious, right? And I can guarantee it's probably that not my doctor lot that always gets accused of doing stuff like this. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a small element out there that have. Now, for the rest of you, because you don't like her, right? And I know the reason why you don't like her, because you think she's a poor doctor, right? you still don't have the right to complain. She's doing this for charity, and you have to look at it that way. The thing that I'm more excited about is seeing Peter Capaldi, Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, Tom Bay,
That'd be a great match, McGann and Capaldi.
Right? So, and you know what I mean? So, there's 8 doctors, right? You have a problem with 2. So, all you just do is ignore the other 2. Simple. Simple. Right? It's as simple as that. You don't have to keep complaining about stuff all the time like this, right? This is done for charity, right? It's done for the NHS, right? And yes, I do agree that BBC are using this as an opportunity, but if we look beyond that and look that's going to raise money, funds, important funds for these people to save our lives. So, you know, even me for today, I'm going to drop the agenda. Do you know what I mean? Because there is no agenda when it comes to something like this, right? BBC might have one, but I don't have one. Let them do what they're doing, right? I'm proud of every single one of them. Every single one of them that they're doing something, right? This is amazing. This will never happen again. We'll never get 8 doctors like this together. I'm just pissed off that Christopher Eccleston didn't join. We'd have 9 doctors, right? Living doctors. Right, and the 2 fakes, but it doesn't matter anyway. We'd still have 9, but we've only got 8. And that's annoying me.
Call, though, right?
What?
It looks like it's just like a Zoom call.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's still something. It's still something. You know, it's going to make a difference. People are going to ring in. People are going to donate their money.
Yes, sir.
You know, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, like I wouldn't not donate because they have Joe Martin or Jodie Whittaker in it. Exactly.
Who cares why it's being done? It's a ploy, and this virus has been going a long while now. Yeah, but BBC have been doing, not BBC, but there has been fan watch-alongs. So you can't say this is a ploy. It's not. Look, they might have an agenda. But once these tweet-alongs start happening, I say there would have been people behind the scenes coming up with all sorts of ideas. And by the way, this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. This show would have had to be organised, by the way, because it's a live event. So they don't just do live TV without showing up. There'd be some rehearsal going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So... again, I think people are just letting their personal feelings of Jodie Whittaker and Joe Martin get the better of them. Simple as that, right? And you know, all of you.
It's not surprising.
If you have a problem with this tonight, well, then you're just bitter. You know, it's time to leave the agenda to one side for one night and just let them do what they're doing and see how much money it raises. And then after the fact, then we could talk about why BBC done this. All right, tonight is not the night for this type of conversation. Just let it go. No wonder we get so much stick. You know what I mean? No wonder the other side always have something to throw at us. Because some people just don't know when to let go. Now, with Christopher Eccleston, somebody will say, well, you're being a hypocrite. No, I'm not. Because Christopher Eccleston has had plenty of time, right, to get over his little hissy fit. Right? He's had these, whether you believe me or not. This is what I was told by the same source that's been giving me information. Right? I was told he was offered to do this, and he says, and this was what I was quoted. This is what I was told. Please, no, don't go down on him. He's still massively hurt. Right? That's no excuse for me. I'm sorry. He's had 9 whatever years to get over his little hissy fit. Right? He's come back into the fandom all of a sudden, start going to the cons before all of this virus business kicked off.
Well, I didn't know he was guilty. Which ones has he been to?
Money and charging fans way over the odds, right? That's why I'm going down hard on him, because he's taken fans' hard-earned cash, but yet when there's an opportunity to do something related to Doctor Who, he won't do it, right? But he'll do it when it's for money, right? Remember, this is for charity. None of these people will be getting paid for this. So don't be under any illusion that these people are getting paid for this, because they're not, right? This is another side to it that you have to look at, right? And this is why I'm calling them out, right? If this was for money, he'd be on board. Trust me. The fact that this is not for money, he's not on board, because he's all right going to the cons, as I said, and taking 90 whatever quid it is, 70
I get it. I don't know that. Like, there may be extended. Okay, I don't know how often if he's done that one time and he didn't know what he was doing. I can hear it. But yeah, and like, people like to be malicious. People like to spin things to be bigger than they are. So like, let's just it's okay. What you're saying sounds. It sounds like he's being a bit shitty if what you're saying is correct, but we really don't know. And like, I like, it's okay, It's like, okay.
I think there's plenty of evidence there. I think there's plenty of evidence there, because most fans know that he's being offered to come back numerous of occasions, right? This is for charity, right? I don't care what your person. I'm sorry, but I do it. I wouldn't care if I had personal. This is for charity.
Right. But like, honestly, if he was desperate for money, he could do a big finish in a shot that'll make a fortune. They could float that on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I do agree. There's probably something deep within the BBC with him that he's so angry. But I'm just saying, just for this thing, though, Rabbi, it's for charity. For God's sake, it's for charity. You do anything. You even said you would take the man in.
Yeah,
you had no clothes on his back. You would feed the man. You would do everything, because
all I'm saying is we don't know the full story. That's really it. We just don't know the full story.
Human being, can he not do things out of his heart? Can he not say, well, let bygones be bygones for just one day and do this thing? Because you do it, I do it.
No.
Would do it. So what makes him special?
Something like Chibnall, and the difference between like Eccleston's this. Chibnall has demonstrated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again a repeated and really kind of like disgusting behavior. Eccleston hasn't. He really hasn't done anything that terrible as yet. And if he keeps doing stuff that's like this weird, then he's going to develop a very bad reputation, and he's going to be predisposed to assume what he's doing is bad, like you are with Chibnall. But
that's why, Andrew. That's why I'm going mad, because it's for charity, and Christopher Eccleston hasn't bothered his arse to do it.
Maybe he's doing something else.
That's basically the nit and gritty.
Maybe he said, "Look, I can't do it with this. I will do double, triple, whatever. I'll raise more doing anything else." But he's just saying, "I can't do it with this."
It's not good enough.
No, we don't know. There's so much we don't know.
It's not good enough. I'm sorry, there is no excuse. There isn't. I'm not going to be swayed on this one. Right? People have tried to sway me before, and I've turned out to be almost pretty much right every other time. I'm not going to be swayed on this one. The man has no problem taking the fans' money going to Comic Cons, but when he's asked to do something for charity, he said he declined because he's still hurt. And I was told, don't go down hard on him because he's hurt. Well, I don't give a shit. He's had 9 years to get over his heartache. Right? I'm sorry, he just comes across as bitter. If you read his book here, you'd understand my point of view more. Read his book. Go and seek out his book. Read his book. He comes across as a petulant child.
Okay. How much is a photo and a signature with like David Tennant or Matt Smith?
What?
How much would a signature and a photo or with David Tennant or Matt Smith be?
Well, they're cheaper than Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, I
can't no idea off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, I think they're charging £60-70. He's charging 95 or something.
Sounds reasonable.
What?
Again, £68 sounds reasonable.
He will charge, but then if, as you have seen yourself, if it runs over time and there's still people queuing there, he will sign the autograph.
Yeah, he's so conscientious. I wish we knew. I wish I knew what a treasure we had in Capaldi, because I really didn't. I really didn't. I appreciate him so much more now than I did then. Such a shame.
Andrew, I do agree with you. Andrew, don't get me wrong. I wholeheartedly agree with everybody when they say there's an agenda going on, right? I know there is. BBC is an agenda thing, right? But just for this night, it is for charity. We could talk about the agenda thing tomorrow, right? When it's not live on the night. We could do all of that tomorrow. We could break it all down. But tonight is not the night for it. It's for charity. Let's see how much money do you raise. It'll probably turn out to be a sensational thing. We will see what kind of audience this gets, right? There's, as I said, right, according to the BBC, there's 10 doctors going to be live on screen. Obviously, to us fans, there's 8 and there's 2 imposters. But still, this has never happened before. This is going to be TV gold for BBC, whether we like it or not. But for me, it will be interesting to see the ratings for this, because it will show me if there's still an interest with the public as well as the fans, right? If there's still love for Doctor Who. Let's see how.
That's the question, because with the fans, there certainly is. We've seen with the fans, with the Watchalongs.
Yeah.
With the public, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. They may just be. Listen, if they're watching anyway, they might not turn off. And if they see it's got David Tennant, and they might stay with it, you know.
Yeah.
David Tennant on his own. David Tennant and Tom Baker may like deal with the drag factor, Jodie Whittaker, and they won't know who Joe Martin is. They'll just roll their eyes and see, oh look, it's a dark-skinned woman. Oh, cool.
And here's the thing: in fairness, what have I been complaining about on this channel? Jodie Whittaker hasn't done enough, right? Now I heard that she's going to be reading, whether you like her or not, she's going to be reading storybooks along with other celebrities to children, right? Now, whether you think that's a good thing or not, she's still doing something. And now she's done a few videos as well. Jodie Whittaker's done more than Chris Chibnall has done, right? Now, I'm not saying because she's done all this, should we forgive everything that she has said and for the fact that she's ran this role into the ground? No, but you have to give credit where credit is due, and she deserves that credit. She's
Chris
Chibnall is the one I have a problem with.
No.
Well, you don't.
Here's where I disagree with you. You know, I am reminded.
Go on.
I reminded. It was recently the Jewish holiday of Passover, right? And so there's this thing where Jews sit around together on like the first night or 2 nights of year outside of Israel, and have this thing called Seder, and you tell the story of the Exodus or from Egypt, right? It's like this book, you read it together, and there's lots of questions. You're supposed to like talk about it more and more and more. So they were talking about the Romans. These rabbis were sitting around talking about the Romans at the height of the Roman Empire. Saying, is the Romans, were they a force for good or for evil? And so people said the Romans were a force for good. They built it's like Monty Python sketch. They built the roads, the aqueducts, sewers, and marketplaces, and then they went through everything and said, "Oh no, they just did. They built like marketplaces so they can have a place to have the brothels easier. Everything they did, they actually did for themselves." And I think that's pretty much the same with Jodie Whittaker. I think everything she does for herself. She's on a legitimization campaign for herself, along with this whole production. They've had their reaction to like being utterly rejected by both the fan and the general audience is to like just pretend that nothing's wrong. They pretend like it's like they're at the height of David Tennant, and so it's just bizarre, that's been their response. So part of that is Jodie Whittaker being like, "Hi, I'm Doctor Who. Look at me being Doctor Who. I'm actually Doctor Who. Me, not all these."
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's going to be very interesting now because she's going to be surrounded by legends. Yeah, she's going to be surrounded by legends, so it's going to be interesting to see if she's got. Well, we already know she's out of place. But it's going to be startling to see how out of place she's going to look.
Listen, if Joe Martin can has more screen presence and charisma than her. Jo Martin, right? Compare her to any of the other Doctors. Like, what's Tom Baker? She's gonna seem like she's gonna seem like a matchstick compared to a son. Compared to Tom Baker, she's gonna be like eviscerated by all the like vastly superior talent on the screen. All the vastly superior talent on the screen. She will be okay. Imagine this: you're going on a Zoom call, and with complete crystalline clarity, you are the shittest person on that Zoom call. You're the one who is the least competent and has screwed up more than anyone else. And you know that. Like, you know that everybody else in the room is better than you. That's what it's like for Jodie Whittaker.
Well, we will see what happens anyway. Boy, listen, I've just gotten a tweet off me special guest. Our special guest will be with us very, very soon. Obviously, I'm not telling you who it is because, like, I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. But yeah, be with us. Listen, I get that Jodie is out for herself, right? Really do. But again, I think just for one night, I think we should just put that aside.
That much I agree with you, and I can keep my mouth shut if not prodded. Don't prod me.
Listen, we can listen. I'm not saying we can't talk about this. I'm gonna level into this tomorrow because there'll be the fallout.
Hilarious.
There'll be the fallout anyway. And we listen to what they have to say. And then when we break it down and listen to what they actually have to say, because you never know, there could be some little sneaky little Easter eggs in there. You never know. Right. So we will definitely come back on again anyway to do this.
Do you have this thing on in the background?
No, I'm not watching it. I won't watch it.
Right. You know what it is? I had no idea. It's basically a studio with people like trying to beg you to give donations. That's very nice. Very good. Keep doing that. And it's interspersed with live things of like, right now it's Dawn French in front of a camera at home with a backdrop she made herself, like just as like a headshot of the Vicar of Dibley, right? So it's all these things. There's all these like, really weirdly homemade things, but they're with the real people. It's so strange.
Oh, for anybody that wants to know, it's actually on the BBC right now. Everybody thought it was on tomorrow. It's not on tomorrow.
No, right now. I'm watching it right now.
It started at 7:00.
Right. The Doctor Who stuff's supposed to be around 8 o'clock. They said, not before 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Which I don't really give a crap about until later on. I watch it later on. I don't like watching it live. I'll watch it later on because then I'll be able to analyze what they said, see if there's any little funny references from the era even. There might be something there.
Right.
And of course, me and Rabbi will be back tomorrow. We will discuss this. Oh no, we won't be because Rabbi, you're Passover, isn't it?
No, not Passover. It's just Sabbath. Just Sabbath.
Oh, Sabbath.
Yeah. Funny enough, you know what I was doing just before we started? I was watching Human Nature because I'm not going to be around to watch tomorrow. Yeah. But I'm really glad I'm not going to be around to watch tomorrow because I've been really realizing Paul Cornell is such a massive dick, like such a massive throbbing tool.
Yeah.
Like, desperate for recognition and like to be just acknowledged. Yeah, like he's always been like very arrogant, like and he's very talented. There's a reason he should be arrogant. His work is fantastic. I love his books. His books are just wonderful.
I see someone are talking about watch-alongs. Listen, no, this wasn't a watch-along for this. But if you are missing the watch-alongs, watch the last one because
that was a fun one.
I don't know what it is, but I thought people liked Dalek, but that watch-along hasn't done as well as the other watch-along, so I don't know what it is. But if you haven't seen it, the Dalek watch-along is there. We're going to continue on anyway. As we said, the long game is next. So listen, if me and Rabbi are wasting our time with these watch-alongs, let us know because I don't want to be doing them if you still want us to do them. Because the last one hasn't actually done well at all, if I'm honest. So I don't know whether.
Well, I think because we did the big one that week as well.
So maybe it's got to do with that. But let me know anyway if you still want me and Rabbi to do the watch-alongs. I mean, me and Rabbi are going to be collaborating a lot anyway. So, like, I mean, if we don't do that, we're definitely doing other stuff. So,
Right,
I
we,
mean,
we do have a bunch of stuff in the pipeline. I wish you could turn this on so you can see what this woman's wearing. It literally looks like she took a yellow tablecloth and wrapped it around herself. I have no idea who she is.
is she blonde hair?
What?
Blonde hair?
No.
What color hair she got?
That was some radio guy. Who cares? I don't know.
All right, that's probably Zoe Ball. Zoe Ball.
Oh yeah, it could be her. Could be.
Yeah, she used to have blonde hair. She's probably dyed her hair now, like the model. Like so, yeah. But seriously, I don't know where everybody's standing. It's definitely an interesting conversation. Obviously, again, this is why I love having Rabbi on. Me and Rabbi don't always agree on everything, but again, we're always best buddies. Like I still think he's wrong. I still think I have to admit, I do. I think Christopher Eccleston is just being a petulant child right now. But I do get where you're coming from, but I still think 9-10 years, man, is a bit long to be holding a grudge now, in all fairness.
Yeah, listen, I'm not, again, if I was in his situation, I hope I would do better. I just don't have it in me to condemn him. I think it's a reasonable human reaction. And like, okay, sometimes people aren't good. Sometimes we're all not good.
I'm not condemning him. I'm just calling him out as the prick that he is. That's all.
So certainly over this, if what you're saying is true, he's being a prick. I do concur. And you know what? I think if somebody even would say it to him, he'll say, "Yeah, you're probably right." It's like it's a reasonable just statement of fact.
Well, we'll see if he does what you said. He does something else.
He could do again. Listen, listen. It's just I know there's always things like this. I remember this is synagogue logic, right? There was this big hoo-ha once because this guy apparently wasn't paying his synagogue fees, which is kind of a big deal. You have to pay your synagogue fees to get your seat for the high holidays. It's very so somebody in the board of the show was very upset about it, and he didn't know that this guy didn't believe in paying synagogue fees. He thinks synagogue should be free and open to everyone, but he still gave the same amount of money, just as a private donation. He just didn't want. He's like, yeah. So you have all this like weird stuff going on with people that sometimes can look like one thing and can be completely another, unless you know. You can suspect. Like again, if Chibnall appears to be a self-aggrandizing idiot, I'm kind of going to believe he is because he's just given me overwhelming evidence. That's who he is. But Eccleston, if you're telling me he's like being like completely irredeemably evil, I'm just not that. I'm just not there for. I just don't see what he's done to get him there.
Right, I've got to mention this because it's fair that I be balanced. So I got an article by Marie who's in the chat there, and she says, I'm after sending you something on Christopher Eccleston. So to be fair and balanced on the channel, or I suppose I better read out what this says. Now, what's the date? I just want to know what the date is first off.
Today's 23rd.
Right, so this article was out on the 13th of April of this
10 days ago.
Right, so Christopher Eccleston thinks he will get coronavirus as he pays tribute to NHS staff. So apparently he wrote a poem.
Okay, that's nice of him.
It was read out on ITV. Right, so he really does actually hate the BBC.
He really hates the BBC. That I really suspect is the case. I think he really, genuinely, properly hates the BBC.
Where's this poem? Hold on.
And I guess being an actor, you can't. I can forgive somebody for being passionate. Jeez, I've been there enough times.
Right, so here's some of the comments So there's 3 tweets after he did an interview. So he said, sound advice from Christopher Eccleston. Most people will end up getting COVID. Ending lockdown isn't the end. It's just the end of the risk to the NHS. What can we do is prepare our bodies, eat healthy, cut the bills while I'm fucked, and exercise so you have the best possible chance of fighting it. A second row, phone interview with Christopher Eccleston on Good Morning Britain. Oh, so it was a phone interview. So during the phone interview, he read some excerpts of this poem that he had written for the NHS 10 days ago. Now, is that what they're going to say is the reason why he didn't do the thing on BBC? Or this actually does show that he'd rather go on ITV, which is okay, I get.
No, you know what you should do? I'll do it as well. I'll write to him, write to his agent and ask him, oh, do you want to come on and talk about it? Do you have a statement? That's fair. Yeah, sitting around at home, I say, yeah, what the hey? Why not? I'll do it.
Well, again, credit where credit is due. I mean, he wrote it's there in black and white. Like, I mean, he wrote a poem and he read excerpts of it out on ITV, so BBC's rival channel 10 days ago. So. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'm going to ask this question. On that respect, I would say, well done, Christopher Eccleston, for doing that. But now the question I will pose is, so who copied who? Did BBC copy him because he did it for ITV and they thought, oh, that's a great idea. Let's get air doctors on board to do it.
Could be. Or it could just be like, oh, who's popular? Who's a star? Doctor Who. Let's get all the Doctor Who's. Yeah.
Will Yaz be putting out a video called Planks to the NHS? Oh, for fuck's sake, Gary, what are you trying to do to me? Oh.
I do think we should have been preparing our cringe muscles quite severely. Like, every time I see Jodie, she's getting in character. She's just so cringe. I mean, she's out character as well. She's so cringe.
Well, I don't know. Christopher Eccleston is a bit of a weird one. I have to admit.
What was it?
I just went on a half an hour rant against the man, and now I read that. Am I going to apologize for it? No. I still do believe in the things that I said. I still think he should be doing something, but there's obviously an issue with the BBC still, and it's obviously, as Rabbi said, there's obviously a lot more going on than he spoke about in the book, which is fascinating. See, this is the enigma of Christopher Eccleston. You hate him 1 minute, and then
right, yeah, and that's kind of what he's like as Doctor Who as well. You're like, I wish he had a second year. I wish he had a third year, quite frankly. I wish he'll do a big finish.
Listen, here's the thing. When I know the day that Christopher Eccleston lets the world know what really went on, right? And if I've got it wrong and he had a valid reasons to not do things that he was asked to do during the years, right? If he doesn't have a valid reason, then I stand by what I say. But if he does have a valid reason, I will come on, as you know, I will come on, I will do a stream, and I will personally apologize. But I'm not apologizing now because
this is something you don't need to be right or wrong about. You know,
I still can't get over the 10 years, though, Rabbi. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
listen,
I'm fascinated now.
I never said I disagree with you. I just said let's not jump to conclusions. No, can I ask you? Can you turn your TV on and put the sound down? I got to ask you about this woman's dress. It's doing my head in.
Oh Jesus! All right, go on.
I think it's Zoe, but I have no idea.
What, you're going to screen share it?
How did anybody think this was a good idea?
What, you're going to screen share it?
No, I can't. I'm watching on my iPad. Can you just turn your TV on and keep the sound off?
Not sure. Cheryl, I'm in the bedroom. Cheryl's watching our murder stuff because she's preparing to murder me tonight.
Do you, can you put it on your phone?
No, I can't get BBC iPlayer on my phone.
Oh, really? Bloody hell.
We're in the Republic of Ireland, you see, they're racist against us. They give it to the people up the north, but if you're from the Republic of Ireland, sure, they don't show you on the weather map, and they don't give you the ITV or the BBC iPlayer. Yeah, the English are kind of racist against us. The Irish, they don't openly admit it, but they're still like kind of racist against us. Like when we do the weather forecast, we show their country. When they do the weather forecast, they don't even show Dublin. Dublin doesn't even exist. Belfast exists, but Dublin or Cork or anything like that doesn't exist. And below the north doesn't exist.
Man, I wish you could see this. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, well, they're all bizarre.
Oh, wait, can you open another like window on your computer?
I can't get it, sure. I won't be able to watch it anywhere.
Oh, you don't have a VPN. Oh, man. It's so crazy.
I'll watch it on repeat or something, man. I don't really give a crap. I just want to know what they had to say. I don't really give it. And Lenny Henry, why would I want to watch that piece of shit anyway?
Right.
What he said, the BBC wouldn't even hire a dog to play the doctor. They'd rather hire a dog. Sorry.
He's a white dog, apparently, or a blonde dog.
Idiot.
This is just
idiot.
There's people inside their homes who I think are famous doing like stuff.
Yeah, Matt Lucas has one. By the way, a bit of Doctor Who related news. So yeah, because that's what we do on this. I don't want to just concentrate on Eccleston being a dick.
Right.
But Matt Lucas has this. So Channel 4 in UK are showing a program on Sunday with Matt Lucas. I think it's a whole series now. It's basically things. It's cheer you up while you're basically in isolation. So he's going to show you fun things to do or something. Or
that sounds fun.
He's going to show us a bit of his crazy life, which is bound to put a smile on people's faces. Now, I personally like Matt Lucas. Even before he was in Doctor Who, he was in a show called Little Britain all those years back. I remember watching him then, and when I heard he was going to be in Doctor Who, I was absolutely over the moon. So the fact that he's actually doing something else now, I'm going to watch because I like Matt Lucas. So it's good to see him do something on the TV again. So yeah, it's nice. So have the doctors appeared yet? No, we've got.
No. Oh yes, I was saying before we start tonight, I was watching Human Nature. Because on tomorrow night, and it's really worth rewatching. It's very good. I was saying it's worth rewatching because I think that kid who plays Baines, who went on to be on in Game of Thrones, and
here he is, right. So, special guest, as I said, hasn't been around in a while because he's been out there doing his bit during this whole crisis. So, I'd like you to give a warm welcome to our friend, Bowlestrek.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's life?
I'm not too bad, pal. How are you, firstly?
I got 2 days off, so this would be the second day off. I'm working on a YouTube video right now on Jonathan Frakes' ridiculous statement, so that should be up tomorrow.
You look that up. What did he say, the idiot?
To quote exactly, just a sec here, I'll pull it up.
Oh my God! What is he starting now? Don't tell me. Let me guess.
So the quote was to Star Trek Picard detractors. His quote was, "They'll watch it. They're watching it just to make sure they hate it." So he's saying we had a.
Hear that? That's why I watched it.
Yeah, it was a preconceived hatred. I'm like, no, I had my concerns going into it, but everybody was willing to give it a chance, and that wasn't why we hated it.
It doesn't mean preconceived and pre-assumed. If you have something that's objectively awful, and you keep saying this objectively awful thing isn't awful, you're going to assume that they're going to continue to do something objectively awful. We were all quite impressed, actually. They didn't do something quite as awful as the thing they did right before it. So,
yeah,
that's the general reaction to it.
Pretty much. And in every video I made beforehand, I'm like, I hope this show doesn't suck. I think it will suck, but I hope it doesn't suck. So I didn't go in wanting to hate it.
He's at the kind of ruining it for me now, because he was the praise that we were given on Picard, that him being back actually, elevated whatever episode he was in, even though it was still shit. Like the fact that he came back right at the end as well, that was enough. Like, even though the series
that was actually what the best bit of the thing, I think.
And that was actually shoehorned in, because we do know that wasn't supposed to be the original ending, but they knew that it struck gold with him. For him now to come out and say something like this, I want to ask Bowlestrek, do you not think, just thinking about this, because me being cynical, I could just say, well, this is just him having a go. But could this be him very cleverly putting the final nail in Picard's coffin? Because he knows that this is a pile of crap. But he knows if he actually comes out and says something as controversial as he has said now, people are going to turn off. There's no way he said this and thought that people are still... Is he that arrogant? Is he that arrogant? Well, I'm not saying this and they're still going to watch.
The argument that I make with these people is he obviously can't come in and bash Picard because he directed several episodes and he was in it.
Yeah.
So the way you approach this to not piss off your customers, I'm going to do the nerdrotic thing instead of fans, customers.
Right.
Just don't say anything at all. And he didn't have to throw in that line. And one of the only things in the end that was a bright spot for me in that whole disaster was seeing Riker on the bridge of the starship, whose name I don't remember.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the only watchable bit of the whole thing.
That
was like 30 seconds.
That was brilliant, man. That's the only... I agree. That's the highlight of the whole series. Imagine saying that.
And that wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. But that was the highlight. I mean, look, we suffered through that series, Rabbi. I mean,
we really did suffer through it.
Listen, Trek is like Doctor Who. It holds a special place in my heart. Doctor Who. Right now is just utterly disgusting. But can Trek survive this? Yes.
Yep.
Doctor Who. Trek can. It only takes someone to come in with a bit of love, that understands the show, and do a different franchise. The difference is that, Star Trek is different franchises, whereas Doctor Who is just the one franchise. It's just the one series. So when you mess up canon on that, it's very hard to rectify. Whereas on the Star Trek side, I think fans need to be a little more... You can't change this. You can't fix this. Do you agree, Bowlestrek? Do you think they can fix this?
Can they fix Star Trek? Definitely. Yeah. Their Star Trek is, compared to Doctor Who, it's a vast franchise.
Yeah.
And Star Trek 66 to 87 is still, or 66 to 2005, I should say.
Yeah.
Is still highly regarded. And there was a 12-year gap between the end of Enterprise and the bastardization known as STD. So that separation will always be there.
Right.
So I think Star Trek, they have to find, they do have to find some way to retcon what they did to Starfleet and the Federation in Star Trek Picard. But no, I think in the right hands, Seth MacFarlane, I think this could be a great show again. And there is hope, because CBS Viacom is in horrendous financial difficulties right now, and the deal will not be finalized unless the stock price, which they won't say exactly what it is, but the stock price has to stay above a certain level, and it's become close to that. So they're going to have to sell off assets, and Star Trek isn't making any money for them.
Most of the employees, haven't they?
Sorry, Rabbi?
They sent out furlough notices, didn't they?
Yeah. There's been layoffs, and Star Trek is not making any money for them.
No, Star Trek is for them.
They could sell it to, say, McFarland and another entity, and they could bring the show back to what it was, because it's thanks to Alex Kurtzman and the past 2.5 years. It's now a lead weight on the whole company. So if they keep Star Trek, if they keep this Kurtzman mess, and it actually goes to series 5 or season 5, which I don't think will happen anyway. If they keep this, they're done. Their streaming service is also a lead weight. The rumors are that the streaming service will be combined with Paramount, so they can get Paramount properties in there, but nobody watches CBS All Access. In the middle of the current situation, I don't think anybody subscribed.
Access was set up to develop the infrastructure,
and that's
that.
And I think, like everybody else, I think a lot of their bandwidth, because everybody, including Netflix, leases a great proportion of their bandwidth from Amazon Web Services. So other than developing the software, I would say they're probably leasing all the bandwidth from Amazon anyway. So all they had to do was come up with the streaming platform, streaming software, all that crap. But I am hoping that this has to be removed from Kurtzman, Abrams, Secret Hideout, Bad Robot. It has to be extricated from them. Every current property, all of them, including Picard, need to be scrapped. And they need to do something to bring back goodwill if it does go to, say, McFarland.
I think that is all going to happen. If they want to bring back goodwill, the easiest way to do it, they could do it really, really quickly.
There's openings.
They could greenlight a 12-episode series of Star Trek Continues with exactly that production values. Do that. And Star Trek fans go, they could bankroll an Axanar, which every Star Trek fan wants to bloody see, and it'd be fine that they were in contradictory timelines. It's okay.
This was an alternate universe. I would say yes, bring back Star Trek Continues as the legit continuation of the original series. Axanar. What I'd like to see, and what a lot of fans want to see, is a continuation of Star Trek Enterprise, because it really picked up steam near the end. And I'm not one of the Enterprise haters. I think the first 2 seasons were not that good, but season 3 and 4, I think those are some of the best Star Trek we ever got. So I want to see Enterprise come back. Until Riker attacked the fans, I wanted to see a Captain Riker series. But also they need to give us something new. Something that takes place in the future, say 100 years removed from the current Star Trek timeline, sort of what they did with The Next Generation. But give us a good show that's recognizable as Star Trek.
What I think, was it Peter David? I can't remember who it was. They did in the books. They did they wanted to do their own spin-off series. What was that? New Frontiers or something? And it was pretty good. And the idea was there was this. I can't remember, this area of alien space that had been closed off, and there's been a palace coup, and that's just been opened up now. And so there's basically one starship in there troubleshooting and trying to keep the peace wherever it can in this lawless area of former. I can't remember what the species was, but
the New Frontier book series,
all new territory, but it's still in the same timeline.
I would say something like that, but I think what they need to do, because they've strayed so far from Star Trek with the last 2 series, is they need something 100 years in the future that is recognizable as Star Trek. Yeah. Whereas even an experiment like Deep Space Nine, I loved it during the time, but no, what they need to give us to save Star Trek is a show like the original series, like The Next Generation, that is pure Star Trek and recognizable as Star Trek. And the politics, set that aside and use the political debate where like I've always said things should be, debate both sides and let the audience make up their minds.
Yeah.
And Seth MacFarlane needs to be behind it because he's proven himself with the Orville. The Orville is Star Trek. Change a few names, it's Star Trek.
Well, exactly what you just said there as well, though. When he does tackle issues, we get both sides of that argument. We get a balanced view on the issue that he's highlighting. For example, the episode when about Bortus and Clyden's child, when the child was born female into an all-male race, and
that was an interesting episode.
Gender swap debate going on in that episode. But you got to see both sides of that argument.
That was 1992. That's when this was divisive. So I think in that case, it was a bold step. Whereas, we're talking about 28 years ago. So they were looking at an issue that was, again, we're talking in a different time period. It isn't like it is now. So it was, they were talking about, well, essentially gender identity, sexual orientation, from the way Star Trek always did it within the guise of science fiction. And for 28 years ago, I think it's not necessarily my favorite episode because I've always found that episode to be a bit dull, but I think it is one of their better episodes in terms of getting a message across in a clever way.
Yeah, 100%. And there is a clever way of doing these things without alienating half of your audience, like we have seen recent. Can I ask you a question? Is this the era of franchises dying out? Do you think franchises are going to die out? Do you think we're coming to the end? Do you think this is a deliberate attempt by media companies to dismantle franchises, especially those that have taken over franchises from other companies that have paid big bucks and want to put their... Do you think this is a deliberate attempt, like what they've done with Star Wars? Actually, I wanted to ask you about that, Bowlestrek, now that I have you on. So there's rumor that Disney Plus are doing a female-orientated Star Wars TV show.
Yeah, I've heard those. I haven't looked into them specifically, but I have looked into them, and that is the dumbest thing they could do.
Their lesson, like how many Star Wars movies have they messed up? Have they not learned? They still haven't learned their lesson.
Literally, it was hard to make a video about it. It was so breathtakingly stupid.
Right, go on. Tell us what's the gist of it, because I've only read a little bit about this, but I have heard it's floating about. So what's the gist?
Who, me or Bowles?
Yeah, you, Rabbi.
You don't know anything really about it. It's a female-centric Star Wars show for Disney Plus. So, like all the other Disney Star Wars, so it's female-centric, but it's not the Jedi Karen one. And they hired this woman to write it, who actually did a show which I like, called Russian Doll. But they came out this thing that she's like this crazy identity politics feminist lesbian. Yeah, she did like caricatured everything. And then it turned, and she hates men and the patriarchy. And then it turned out that she coincidentally was was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant for a year.
Right.
I've heard that.
That show, though. Do you know who could play the lead in that show? Tessa Thompson.
Get out of here! Of course.
She's right in Star Wars role.
Oh Lord!
I really want to know who are these people who are hitting on Tessa Thompson? Like, I don't see that happening. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
These people are delusional anyway. I mean, she's coming out with ridiculous statements, but has no problem, like them all, being a hypocrite and actually taking their money.
I actually want to say something. In her defense, that ridiculous statement she made about not wanting to work with white people or men, that was from 2018 when it was, I think that was on the height of the bubble of the insanity.
It was the whole point of the article and Mecca's original video was to show the hypocrisy, where she doesn't want to work with white people and white men, and then proceeded to work with nothing but
Well,
white.
that's where the money seems to be at.
It's well, I think going back to your original question, Noel, I don't think this was a deliberate attempt to destroy franchises. This came out of sheer arrogance in every case.
Right.
The Hollywood and BBC elites thought they were better than the rest of us, thought they knew better than the rest of us. They don't live in the real world. They have no idea how the real world works. So in order to spread their message, which I will call a message of hate, they took over every franchise. And I don't think in their delusion, because they think they're so grandiose and superior to the rest of us, I don't think any of them ever expected that franchise after franchise would implode in the way it was. Yeah. But the second part of the question is this the end of franchises? For many, yes. For some, no. Star Wars, you have to look at the bigger picture of Disney, because Disney, and Nolan, you and I are both obsessed with the story of the Titanic. Disney has become the Titanic right now. The unsinkable ship that got too big for its own good.
That is good. I think the franchise in genuine most danger of going out is Star Wars over Star Trek and Doctor Who. Star Trek and Doctor Who are much more resilient. You can cut them off, and they're like weeds; they'll regrow. Star Wars, I think they've killed it, and I think I think they're bringing it back with the Mandalorian. But no, they got we get Jedi Karen after Jedi Karen.
So will this force Disney sell?
And no one's interested in this. No one buying it. They can't sell the freaking toys.
Rabbi, would this force Disney though, right? If Disney can't make this, I can't use the word. If Disney can't make this franchise profitable, right? Do you think there's a possibility with the amount of Disney now? Remember, right now, because of this pandemic, Disney slows down as well. It's parks.
I think it's more likely they'll rather it'll burn than sell
Star Wars again. Could Star Wars be sold by Disney, and could George Lucas buy it back? That's the question.
Here's the thing.
Right.
George Lucas can't buy it back for what he sold it for because they devalued it. He won't be able to. He would have to offer them like $3 billion instead of $5 billion. They significantly devalued it.
Well,
I don't think Disney board can afford to sell to them.
No.
So I think and they're so arrogant. I can see them wanting to see everything go down and it go into liquidation.
Right.
And buy that way than anything else.
Wow. Bowlestrek, what do you think, mate?
I think given the catastrophic apocalyptic situation that Disney is in right now, because keep in mind their theme parks are closed.
Yeah,
theaters have been closed in most places for 6 weeks,
and they're going to be closed for another
that way.
8 minimally.
Yep. Well, I think this is going to go on in most countries for a few more months. So their revenue streams, the only revenue streams that Disney really has at the moment, is subscriptions to Disney Plus, which now that The Mandalorian isn't playing, there's no reason to subscribe because it's just a bunch of crap that most people probably already have on DVD and Blu-ray. They still have DVDs and Blu-rays. They have Disney merchandise, but keep in mind most stores are also.
If you've got kids, Disney Plus, especially right now, Disney Plus is
that's not going to be enough to keep the company afloat.
I'm telling you, the kid market, even my 22-year-old daughter can't love it. It's designed to like everything Disney does. Everything Disney does is designed to squeeze the children to get you to get into the parents' wallets. So
Rabbi, you still wouldn't have enough revenue from Disney Plus to keep it open. Remember, everything else is closed down. This Disney, how long in reality can Disney stay afloat? If this, for example, if this was to go on for another 2 or 3 months, what state would Disney, do you think, would they be in? Would they be in a lot of financial trouble by then? Or do you think a lot
I'd
of
say
They must have
would
some
you think
serious
Disney can
cash
get through this? Is Disney going to be able to get through this?
They must have some serious cash reserve. Although maybe not. You know, you hear all these stories.
not really, because they
do.
Well, keep in mind they just bought Fox.
Yeah.
They bought Fox, and they had that person that they who raised the thing to the FCC, and like it was going on for years, and you'd like these financial irregularities of their report, and they like triple reported stuff to make their revenue seem like 4 or 5 times what it is.
There was. Look at Captain Marvel. There was some major manipulation that went on with that movie, with the theater blocks being sold. So that's illegal. Like that is.
Yeah, everybody
for a public company, that is absurdly illegal.
It was so obvious that they weren't getting the numbers for that movie, and that they were actually
come on.
Yeah. And come here, by the way, that's the same company that's gonna give us a second one of those movies. See, this is what I'm saying, right? Disney right now are in a lot of trouble, right? Just like Marvel Comics, because Gary is covering the comic book industry very extensively.
And who owns Marvel Comics?
I haven't been in the chat, but I have been listening to the streams. Now, I normally do interact with this virus. Is kind of maybe a bit weird. I haven't been interacting with many people, to be honest, with just the people that I'm used to interacting with. I've just gone a bit weird, and I apologize for that. I think we all have.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we all have.
And I have a little bit. I'm constantly worried about Cheryl all the time because she's got a lot of medical conditions. So I'm like on edge all the time, like everybody else. So we're all in the same boat. So I'm not saying Pete knee or anything like that, but I really am struggling with all of this. And the only thing that's kept me going is watching. It was nice to see Bowlestrek do his video. Because Bowlestrek's been very busy himself, and he hasn't been able to try out as many videos because he's been doing good work, and I really appreciate that because he's out there doing what I'd love to be doing. If I wasn't sick, I'd be out there helping as many people as I bloody could. Seriously, I've even offered me neighbours here just to do something because I feel like I have to do something. I hate fucking sitting home, but as I said, the streams can be. But Gary's been given money. We've all seen that, and I know he doesn't want any praise, but for Gary, a YouTuber, to be doing what the comic book industry is failing to do, which is help comic book stars, right? Now, when you've got Marvel bringing out fucking stupid comics that have characters like Safe Space and Snowflakes, how are you supposed to save a comic book industry? These people are just crazy. So this is what I want to ask. This is what I can't understand, right? They keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. Is the comic book industry is about to fall, right? As we know from listening to Gary's videos.
It's fallen. It's not that was happening.
Right, yeah, okay. It's fallen, right? So that's fallen, right?
Get up again.
Disney more than likely probably will fall because let's be honest, if this goes on any longer, Disney is not going to be able to sustain itself. So it is going to fall. Right?
I know. I think
but here's the thing. They've got a window of opportunity. And the point is instead of these comic book people coming out and saying, well, buy me comic book, even though it's Safe Space and Snowflake, you have no right to complain. I know what I'm doing. It's my work. If you don't respect it, fuck you. Instead of doing that, why not actually write a comic that actually, will sell because people will like it? And why not Disney, for a change, instead of trying to virtual signal like the BBC do and everybody else does, actually make a movie or actually make a TV show that fans will actually enjoy, because then you will find then, even if fans can't go out to the shops and physically buy our merchandise, they will buy our merchandise online. They will buy our movie. You will make a lot of... See, this is what I can't understand. This has been going on for years now.
Yeah, right? No, I will tell you.
Yeah, well, how can these companies keep surviving year after year, throwing out this virtual signaling and crap year after year, and how do they make them? This is the question I'm trying to ask. How the fuck are these companies making money? Because they can't be making money. We've seen evidence of companies rigging numbers or buying up cinemas just to make the movie more successful, to make it look like more people have watched us, more revenue. How are they able to do this without actually, they're supposed to be a company to make profit. So they haven't been making profit for years. So how are they able to sustain?
Okay, it's like everything with high finance, it's not real. It's like it's essentially Ponzi schemes. Ponzi schemes where they're like, that's what Bernie Madoff was doing. Right?
Yeah, essentially a pyramid scheme.
Oh, I get you now.
All the finance they have isn't real.
Right.
Everything is on paper, and those numbers are manipulated. What needs to happen for it to, if it ever gets like found out, and the only reason get found out if there's ever like any reason to call them on their credit, which is possible. I mean, like, they might run out of cash. It's like, and they have to like break up the organization. But like, nobody knows how long it's going to take for them to get there. They may have 10 years worth of reserves. They may have 10 weeks. They may have 10 days.
I think what we've seen.
Go ahead, Bowlestrek.
No, I was just going to say, I think what we've seen is that these industries actually were hanging by a thread, because look how quickly they went down. And also, yes, I want to give a big shout out to Gary as well, because he announced the winner of the second round of Comic Shop Help earlier today. So this one was Gotham City Comics and Collectibles in Mesa, Arizona. So congratulations. I know he doesn't want the he doesn't want the praise or attention, but I think we have to give him some praise for this. So I think it's wonderful what he's been doing.
He's doing more than what those other bastards are doing. And I know Gary is not about that, and he's not. He genuinely has a love. And this is a fan, right? And remember that we call him a YouTuber. We've got to remember Gary A was a comic book store owner, so he knows what these owners are going through. And second of all, he is a fan. This is a fan that knows what's happening, understands the industry, and knows how bad it is, and is doing anything. And he knows it's not much, right? But that $1,000, whatever it is, as he said, will probably pay rent for a month for a shop. Keep it open for that extra month until they figure out some sort of solution to keep their shop open. And what Gary is doing is amazing. He's doing better than what the actual industry, the people that are actually supposed to be supplying the comics, they're the ones that have ruined this industry, because they're not writing the comics that they should be writing. They want a virtual signal, and they want to preach to the audience, and they've basically destroyed the fandom. They've actually destroyed their customers, their customer base. As Gary says, it is, well, not fan, it's customer base. And that's the way we should be all looked at. You're right.
That's exactly the way to look at it.
And we deserve a certain standard of quality, right? Certain standard. And when it comes to Doctor Who comics, whatever it is, right? Every fandom has their certain level. Every customer, we have a certain level that we expect that service to be at. When it's not at that level, then we have every right to complain. And look at the industry now, because you didn't listen, because you wanted to have a dig at fans, because you'd rather have arguments with fans than actually putting your talent to work and actually write something decent that actually save the industry that you say you care about.
Well, they didn't care about these industries in the first place. I think that's been proven.
Although you know what I'm finding like really, really fascinating is that there are a few people who are like trying for it not trying for it to go on, but really desperate for things to go back to how they were really quickly, like Bleeding Cool, Rich Johnson, and people like that. And there's any move there is to find some other distribution other than Diamond, they freak out about. I kind of worked out why. That it's because it's these two like smaller operations that were doing like mail order stuff, right? And so they ramped up their operation so they can handle this major distribution. If they offer crowdfunding fulfillment, that's it. That's it. That's end game. That gets the Comicsgate people right into the stores that want them. There's no more gatekeeping. And that's why I think they're definitely... There's all this move to say, no, don't take the comics yet. They're starting to ship comics, I think, next week. And there's a bunch of places that can't take them. They're on lockdown. So the place that can take them, they say, no, don't take them yet because it's not fair for everybody if you sell them. Like it is insanity. So it's really, really weird. But it's like I worked out it's because they terrified of these new distributors starting doing like Indiegogo fulfillment.
Yeah, and I've also noticed as well that a couple of YouTubers, in particular, that Star Wars girl did the Vambarella. Is it Vambarella? Am I saying?
Nice.
Yeah, she did the artwork, right? And she was getting criticism of other animators because she did this artwork. Now, I checked out the comic book. Now, to be honest with you, it's not the type of comic book I'd read. I'd rather read me Batmans or me Supermans if I was getting into comic books. But the artwork was absolutely amazing. The cover had a nice little reference to her sister that passed away with the rose. I thought it was a nice little thing. And she was getting stick from jealous illustrators.
It's all jealousy.
Did you see how much that fucking thing made?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you.
I just want to say to Marvel Comics, those people out there saying that the fandom has changed or somehow there's not enough customers out there. Well, I'm sorry. These type of examples prove what the turn of comics as well. There's people out there doing their own comics as well, flying off the shelves. People buying $15 bloody comics, 75 pence comics, you name it. They're flying off the shelves. Don't be telling the people out there that there isn't a demand. There isn't a demand for Safe Space, Snowflake, and what was her name? Trailblazer. That couldn't even run 5 minutes down the Eden Road without taking a fucking heart attack. What year? And then I seen a comic there the other day. Now, it was from a few years back, I think, but a pregnant Spider-Woman. A fucking pregnant Spider-Woman. These people lost the plot. By the way, in Doctor Who, that horse that was following David Tennant around in The Girl in the Fireplace, apparently that horse was transgender.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's a new one for you now. That's the new one. The horse was trans.
Okay.
Yeah. Just want to throw that out there. Trans author as well. I know no other YouTubers will touch that because they don't want to be called this, that, and the other. I don't give a flying fuck, right? But there's a trans author out there anyway that's saying that gay men are actually settling for second best.
Right.
Because they're actually trans women. They're actually trans women. They're for second best. So this is another agenda thing. So they're saying that gay men should be trans women. So there shouldn't be any gay men at all. So they're basically, if you think about it, they're basically being homophobic because all they're saying is there's only room for straight men. If you're gay, you're actually a trans woman.
They don't think there's room for straight men either. They don't like straight men.
Seriously.
They say straight men are already trans. They just.
But you're getting all this virtual signal in the comic books, in Doctor Who, in Star Wars.
What you're saying about
why all these things are failing because you
the reason I started my channel was so I could get to a point where I could sell my comic books from it. That's how strong the market is. That like you can start. It's a reason to do a channel, and you know how much work doing a channel is, right?
I know it's not easy.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm being honest with you. When I started,
do my Indiegogos like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah. But like when I first started when I decided to start doing these, I used to do the streams on my phone originally. So my streams are pretty shaky back in the day. But it didn't seem like that much hard work. But as soon as you get a laptop and stuff and then this channel start growing, right? You don't realise then a lot more work goes into it. I have people, right? No word of a lie, 24/7. I have people sending me articles from around the world, Doctor Who articles. I go through them all.
It's such a responsibility because, like, you feel that people are going to the trouble to talk to you.
It's not just that's what I mean. It's not just me. It's an army of people that work behind this channel that don't even ask for praise for starters, but don't mind doing it. And every time I say, listen, it's great. I can check most of this stuff out myself, and I do check up for my own articles as well. But I might get an article from somewhere in Australia that you can't get here, and it'll just be very fascinating, the way they look at things. I mean, if you look at the way Australia is very woke, by the way, just to let you know, very woke country. You have trust me, it's the way it's worked in Australia is the way they want it in Britain, Ireland, and the rest of the world. But the problem is that we resist it because we could see through the bullshit. You know what I mean? Whereas in Australia, it's like everywhere, people like that don't like, arguing a point. They'll just, settle for it. And then before their whole country has completely changed. Ireland's starting to get like that as well, though. I don't like this whole era of woke. This was supposed to be finished soon.
I think it's waning, I think it's on its way out.
I don't think so. Think about it. Chibnall is still sticking around, right? He's still gonna flog his cat. If Part does actually go ahead, that's gonna happen, right?
It is, but you know what this whole thing has really shown us more than anything else, that the audience reaction and their distaste for anything or their like for something doesn't matter. Now we see that with Star Wars. We've seen that. Like again, we've hated all this feminized Star Wars. Oh, let's make another feminized Star Wars. Well, this time let's make it super feminized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not going anywhere. But think about it as well.
Right, and
Marvel's second. What's the second phase? Whatever phase it is that's coming up. Right,
Phase 4.
That's going to be mostly all women.
Right, exactly. And none of them are going to do
not phasing out. This is going nowhere anytime soon. This is the thing. This was supposed to be a phase, like everything else that we do. We have these little phases in society, and then they die out. This one isn't going anywhere yet. Look at what damage it's doing, and it's still going strong. It's still going strong. They're still doing Gotham High. They're still doing your fucking Marvel safe space and stuff like they do Warriors. They're still
power. They can't let it go.
STD. They're still doing Doctor Who. This is not phasing out anytime soon, mate. Trust me. They still have the next phase of Marvel to do. And then we don't know what DC is going to do. We don't know what their next phase is.
I mean, again, listen, I think the disease is is society, and the cure is the pandemic. We keep saying this. It's like comic book industry. The comic books are still going to be around. They're going to be much less comic books. They're going to be like 30% of the amount they used to be. But all the woke crap will have been sweated out. It's like chemotherapy for the comic book industry. It's getting rid of
how much damage done. That's the thing. Some of these things will be irreversibly damaged.
I think comics can sustain itself if it like reduces its output. I think Star Wars is the only one that's really in trouble of going out. Star Wars is the one I think that like this latest TV show. This was the one to kill it. This one, not just kill it to an extent where I don't think they can bring it back within a decade.
The Mandalorian was actually a success, though.
That's right, and then they ignored that and they gone in a completely different direction.
Yep, it's this whole thing, and these would have been planned before the current pandemic, but this is karma, because look at the disasters that we've had just in the past 6 months. Charlie's Angels, that was Sony.
Yeah.
Terminator Dark Fate was Paramount.
Bombed.
Birds of Prey was DC Warner. The Last Jedi was Disney. But keep in mind, you could say, well, it made $1 billion. Well, no, there's no reason that this film shouldn't have made at least $2. It should have beat Endgame.
They can't sell Star Wars.
This movie should have made $2-3 billion at least, right? It made $1 billion, but that's what they're saying. It didn't make $1 billion. Fans know it didn't make $1 billion. We know those numbers are manipulated. I'll say it out straight. I don't care. If Disney want to strike this video down, don't care. We know you manipulated the numbers. You are just a bunch of crooks. That's all you have always been. and that's all you will always be. This movie should have made 2-3 billion at least. This was the last one of the Skywalker saga. This is the Skywalker saga, by the way, what it was supposed to be.
No, it's
right?
a Palpatine
Luke
saga now.
Skywalker, right? The Skywalkers in Star Wars. I'm not even a huge Star Wars fan, as I've told you out straight, right? But even I know the significance of that, right? This was supposed to be the end. This was supposed to be the storyline that was going to tie everything up into a nice little bow, and it didn't, right? And this was the movie in all reality, and Bowlestrek is right. This movie should have made a shit ton more money than it actually made. So
Yeah,
it lost a quarter. Look at it this way: it lost a quarter of the purchase price.
And that's a success there is to all these fans that support it. See, this is what I don't know what it is anymore, but to us, success is a movie doing doing better than what it actually was set out to do, make a shit ton of money, right?
Yeah, that would be success.
To be success is that, well, the thing doesn't get much ratings anymore. Nobody really buys the merchandise, nobody buys it anymore, but that's how we measure success now. We've actually gone backwards. That's not success, that's failure, guys. Well, and it'll always be failure. This is why we will always be different to you guys. See, we expect, as I said, a certain level of entertainment. Star Wars fans especially, you know, as I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but it's like a religion to Star Wars fans. They expect a certain level. And when it doesn't get to that, they are disappointed. Look, I remember fans even during the prequels, right? And the prequels didn't go down too well. They didn't.
Yeah, but like nothing like this.
Yeah, they did. No, but we're not comparing it to then. I'm just saying, back then the prequels didn't do too well, right? But the difference is that it didn't bastardize any of the characters that you'd grown up to love and adore. Do you know what I mean? And connect with. This Disney Star Wars. Listen, the only Disney Star Wars movie worth talking about is Rogue One, and it's a movie that should never have been made. But even if you compare it to the older,
even Rogue One is a very good movie.
Greatest Star Wars movie. It's mediocre at best. It's because the others are so bad. Every single one of Disney Star Wars movies, if he's put his hands on his hearts, every single one of them are now up to standard, including Rogue One. Rogue One is now up to standards. We didn't even need the movie. The movie was I even said it at the time. It's the better one out of the Disney Star Wars movies that they've made, but it was 45 minutes too long, in my opinion, and the ending was just the only good thing I liked about that movie was they made Darth Vader scary again when he was in that.
Oh yeah, that was the fantastic thing.
Shit. That was the best scene in that whole movie. Do you know what? That's the best scene that we've had in Disney Star Wars.
Right, and it's like a fan
Star
fiction.
Wars to me. Seriously, that's the best scene in Disney Star Wars for me. That's the best scene I've ever seen in a Disney Star Wars movie. It's the only time that I thought that's Star Wars. That's where they got it right. So why can't they recapture that? Because as we know, unfortunately, they're full of hacks and people that don't actually understand the franchises. I mean, I don't know how anybody can justify the last movie. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't know the Death Star. The Death in the old movies, the Death Star gets blown up, right? But yeah, in the new one, the throne room is still there. Like, do you know what the plot holes?
Oh god, so stupid.
Hold on, even in Doctor Who, right? There's so many plot holes, right? Dead Time Lords going into Cybermen, right, and then regenerating, right? There's so many ridiculous plot holes, right, in these stories, but yet these fans ignore them. This is what annoys me. This is what annoys me. Look at if Disney had to listen to the fans, Star Wars would be a success right now. If CBS had to listen to Star Trek fans, Star Trek would be successful right now. And if BBC listened to Doctor Who fans, Doctor Who would be successful right now. Their downfall was not listening to fans, and Bowlestrek is right. This is karma. If this is the beginning of the end, then do you know what? So be it. I would rather see all those franchises that we love and know just go away and not be sullied anymore. Just leave them, let them die. Who wants another Indiana Jones? I fucking don't. I don't know what Kathleen Kennedy is on. Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. Don't know you. I look at your face. You look like a wicked witch. You actually do look like a wicked witch. I have to actually point out. You really do. You could have actually been in the movie The Witches of Eastwick. You'd fit in spot on, right? But really, you do look like a cunt, right? Just get out of Star Wars. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but I feel sorry for Star Wars fans. They deserve better. And you're wrong. The future, the Force isn't female or whatever it was, or the future is female or whatever.
Dead. That's what it is. He killed the Force.
Right.
Oh, no. You should be really grateful they blocked BBC in Ireland. This thing is doing my head in.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you, Bowlestrek. So this is why we're actually supposed to be originally on. But I don't mind. Once you're on, I don't give a shit what we talk about because we can have...
Oh, no. Well, I have to leave in about 20 minutes anyway. But, the thing...
ridiculous charity thing. Well, it's not ridiculous. It's a good thing. But
well, no, it's a good cause.
Doctors and the two imposter doctors showing up for it. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's just the BBC trying to justify the other two doctors. I'm saying we should kind of leave agenda out of it for tonight. It is for charity after all, and it's for the NHS.
They're on. Hang on.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear the doctor. I can hear it.
I'll try and put it close. Now I lose. As Jodie came on, I'm losing a loose.
No, just listen to it though. Shh. Just listen to it. Right. I can actually hear what they're saying. Wow. See, all the fuss for nothing, guys. Just a simple little message.
That was it.
Yep. I heard it perfectly. No, I mean, you can't argue with the message. I'm sorry, guys. I know that some of you out there that don't think.
I think it was at the beginning, and they first said like they had a big thing saying they're the Doctor. Each one, and they had Joe Martin say it as well. Whatever, and it's not good for them. It's good to do something good sometimes.
Well, they did it. Nothing special. Come on. That doesn't really well. There's no pleasing some of yous out there. No pleasing yous. I mean, look, a few weeks ago I was complaining that Jodie Whittaker wasn't doing enough. Now she's reading stories.
Yeah, she's doing too much.
I feel comfortable with Jodie Whittaker reading.
She needs to calm down.
It all depends what she's reading them, there is. You know what I mean? But, you know, you can't fault her for what she's doing. Yeah, that was look. It's a message for the NHS. They're asking people to ring in and give money. I know the BBC were probably thinking, yeah, this is a kind of a good way to reinforce the other two as the Doctor. Look at, as you've all said in your head, you have your own head canon. So why does it bother you all so much? It's for charity. Come on. gender for one day out the window. Right, Rabbi,
Honestly, it doesn't bother me so much.
You watched the firsthand. We could hear it, but what was it like watching it?
Yes, and they're all. You'll see tomorrow. They're all talking on their phones. Obviously, it was. I don't know. It pretty much as it sounded. It was kind of mundane.
Right. Oh Jesus! There's no pleasing anybody in this fandom anymore.
It was okay.
No, but I can get it. Rich Chibnall has killed all our souls, hasn't he? That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what he's done. He's killed the
one of the greatest things ever, because the fact that they're, even though, yeah, okay, the message mightn't be fantastic as Rabbi has put it, mundane, but this was still 8 doctors on the screen together. Never see anything like that again.
He didn't see them on the screen together.
Well, you know what I mean?
Pre-recorded.
Yeah, still did it. It doesn't matter. It was still put together. They still did a broadcast. It was put together as them all together. Do you know what I mean? They still did it. They knew that you were going to be all putting this together. That'll never happen again. And it's made me sad now, because I can actually see what Chris Chibnall has done. Nobody gives a shit.
Exactly. He's developed apathy. Exactly.
That's sad. Look, I knew
that's why these watchalongs have been so good.
I knew these were coming
as soon as we have a watchalong, it generates passion.
Well, Bowlestrek, did you watch it?
No, I couldn't see it.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch it later, but it's.
But it was also hampered, by the way, by having the current era music in the background, which is awful.
Well, I will ask you something, Bowlestrek. I don't know if you heard what happened with the tweet along. So, the last one that they had was obviously the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. But myself and Rabbi, we actually went live an hour beforehand, and we did turn left first. We took the 15-minute break, and then we joined in with the main one. But the most revealing news is that RTD obviously threw out 2 particular tweets. One, which some interpreted as thrown shade at Chris Chibnall. The second one, though, was the most fascinating. 5 million tweets were put out during that tweet along. RTD wrote it up himself. 5 million tweets for Doctor Who. Now, if you put that into context, now I know it's 5 million tweets, and it's probably the same person tweeting about 20, 30 times maybe. Actually, RTD, Emily Cook, actually told people to watch out, because RTD had actually broken Twitter rules because he'd put up more than 100 tweets. And if you put up more, you're temporarily blocked. So 5 million tweets, right? But the series finale, the time this children got 3.79. What was it? 7? No, what was it? 3.7 something million, right?
It was, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that. But 5 million tweets. Now we do know that there would have been more. It would have been more than one that each person was tweeting. But that wasn't counting the amount of people that would have been on Facebook doing this. And also there was a lot of
the people who weren't tweeting watching along as well.
So I think what I'm trying to say is that, and what I'm trying to say to you is that, or ask you is, there's definitely still demand for Doctor Who, just not Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. So I wanted to ask you, do you think BBC would have looked at this one, especially this tweet along? Maybe they didn't really take much notice of the rest of them, but 5 million tweets is really significant. Actually, while me and Rabbi were live, I think there was 8 hashtags in the top 20. There was at least 4 in the top 5. Actually, they top 10. Sorry, there was at least 5 in the top 10. I mean, it was an amazing night. I don't know if you've seen any of the reaction. Oh, apparently we seem to be buffering on people's YouTube. Listen, you might have a problem with YouTube because obviously with the crisis, everything is on, so you might need to refresh. But Bowlestrek, did you see any of that? And if you did, what did that signal to you? Do you believe what I believe? I think there is still a demand there for good doctor because they were good stories. To be honest with you, do you think this
Yeah.
was embarrassing for BBC and Chris Chibnall as well? 5 million tweets, and as I said, multiple hashtags trending, Facebook alight with people talking, going mad about Doctor Who, and Instagram as well played a huge part as well. And of course, we had RTD and the rest of the cast showing up. So, did you see any of it? Did you take part? Well, I know you have been busy.
Yeah, I saw some of it, but the question is, will this change the BBC's minds? No,
I don't think so. I don't
no,
think
they don't care.
Listen, that announcement from Star Wars made me believe that nothing will change these people's minds under any circumstances. I don't think so.
Spitfire Mark with a £5 super chat says, "No, I am a devotee of Star Wars and TESB only. Not interested in the others. Legendary films of their time. You don't have to like it all to be a fan." True.
That's true. Was it? No, I just want to let you know the thing was on Facebook. The Doctor Who thing was on Facebook, so it's probably on YouTube as well if you want to look.
Cool. We'll have a look at it later. Or can't be
it's like a minute 20 seconds.
Star all?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. Well, look, it was for charity. What can I say? What can I say? Peter Capaldi again on the screen. Anyway, that would
it was great there. Yeah. That was the best bit. Being able to see him. Yes.
Yeah.
And the worst bit is Colin Baker wearing a Jodie Whittaker shirt.
Of course he is, man. Come here. Right, listen. This guy from day one has come out and had a go at fans. Well, not had a go, but saying that if we have any complaints, we should basically get over it. Right? He put that famous tweet out when she became the Doctor. He put that. It's not the first time he's put that rainbow T-shirt on. He's been I don't blame him because he's in his personal life. He's surrounded by a lot of women, and he's always had.
Yeah, he probably believes the whole feminist
belief. So I'm not going to hold that against him. But look, I'm not surprised. That would have been his way of kind of sticking it up to the fans that still have a problem, because he'll come across the odd tweet and he'll say something, like them all. You know what I mean?
Sorry, who was wearing the shirt?
Colin Baker.
Okay, yeah, no, he went off the deep end.
Colin Baker is he's surrounded by feminists. Look, I don't even take him seriously anymore.
Yeah, no,
I never really liked his Doctor. He's done better in Big Finish, but to me, I don't really, when I talk about doctors, I never really bring his name up anyway. So I don't care what he does. Let him. I knew he'd do something like that. You know what I mean? That's just typical of the man. Show support to the blonde doctor. Blonde, dizzy, dopey doctor that gets everybody killed.
Yeah. But on that note, I got to take off in a minute.
No problem, mate. Listen, how have you been getting on? Just so we know, how have you been getting on? What's it like in Canada now, my friend?
Canada actually wasn't hit that hard by the virus that I won't mention because it will get your stream shut down. But no, Canada has fared much better than most Western countries. It's a disaster to the south of us. But no, we're getting on. I've been busy with my day job because it kind of took over. I'm temporarily back on YouTube. I'm sporadically back on YouTube. I'll probably disappear for a few weeks and then come back for a couple days, disappear for a few weeks. But yeah, when I have the time and the inclination, I'll still be putting out videos.
Great, man, because I'd love to have you back on again anyway when you get the time. It's always great having you on. And listen, keep up the good work that you've been doing anyway, pal. I know you've been really busy. Just one more thing. How is Lexi?
Lexi is doing a little bit better.
Ah,
Her control of her back legs is improving, so she's slowly adjusting to the medication.
that's fantastic. Well, at least that's something anyway. Because we could do with some positive news out there anyway. It's all doom and gloom anyway out there, isn't it? Even the media, they can't give you.
Especially the
Well,
media.
the last thing I'll say.
Go on,
Well, I was just going to say the last thing I'll say just to drive this home. With Hollywood, there will be a when we're looking back at this 5 or 10 years from now, there will be a very clear dividing line. You'll have pre-CV, that's what I'll call it, and post-CV.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, regardless if they double down on the wokeness, it's going to be very different when it does come back.
Yeah.
But here's symbolic. This is the symbolism as to how pre-CV Hollywood destroyed itself. What was the last major movie to come out? Birds of Prey. That's how pre-CV Hollywood ended.
Wow.
If that isn't symbolism, I have no idea what is.
Wow, that is actually yeah.
But anyways, guys, I gotta take off. But Noel and Rabbi, it was great talking to you again, and I will be back again soon.
It's great that you're back for, even if it's just for a short time.
Yeah, well, I'll still be making sporadic appearances, and I'm here, but I'm not here, but I'm here, so it's kind of in the middle.
We all await Bowlestrek notifications.
Yeah.
We're like, what do we do? When I get a notification, I'm like, oh, stop what I'm doing. It's a new Bowlestrek.
When we get a full Bowlestrek return, we'll be here anyway. Don't worry, we'll be all here waiting for you anyway. You still have people out there that love your videos. And there's always people asking about you anyway, so just in case you don't know, you are missed out in that fandom. So
well, just tell them I'm semi-retired, but I'm contract. We'll say I'm contract now.
You'll be back. You'll be back. Do you know why you'll be back? There'll be a shot. There'll be something out there. That you just can't resist.
Yeah, someone's going to do something stupid somewhere.
Seriously,
I've got I should have a video coming out tomorrow on Frakes.
And you'll be back out there hammering away. But listen, you deserve whatever. If this is a break or works, whatever it is, whatever you're taking, all well and good. And
well, it's we'll call it a temporary partial retirement.
That's it.
But I've been doing YouTube since, my 13-year anniversary will be September 7th this year. So I've been doing this literally since September 2007. So I've always, I've never been consistent in terms of quantity of uploads. I've sometimes disappeared for months at a time. Yeah. And I am in kind of one of those states right now, but it's staying away or taking a break is a good thing because then it revitalizes you. So, and I put out a video yesterday. I'll have one out tomorrow, which is the most I've put out in probably a couple months. But yeah, I will be back. But anyways, that's it for me, folks. So Noel, Rabbi, thank you for having me, my friends, and we'll talk again real soon.
And you look after yourself, Roy, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on. Love when Bowlestrek comes on. But if you haven't subscribed to Bowlestrek's channel, whenever he has a video, just hit that notification button. They're well worth watching. He has some great videos. And listen, while he is kind of on and off YouTube, why don't you just go back and check out some of those older videos that he done?
Yeah, those classic rants.
Yeah, he's got some good review videos back in the day. A lot of yous actually seem to be you watch me and Rabbi as we do the watch-alongs. But Bowlestrek used to do reviews of these box sets. So why don't you just go back to the old days where he used to do the reviews, watch some of these videos and support them, show them, you know what I mean? I'm being a bit sly here. He'd probably hate me for doing this, But I'd like to see Bowlestrek do, I know he wants to take a bit of a break, but if he came back, he could mix it up a little bit. I know he spoke about before he kind of took the little break or whatever, that he was thinking of maybe going back and revisiting some of the review stuff that he did. So why not watch some of the old ones? Write in the comments and, tell him, yeah, that's something that you would like to see him do. And maybe he might, he might be able to entice him to come back and do weekly videos on that sort of stuff. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'd love to hear his opinions. He gets a lot of stick out there, but he does have those.
No, look, he's entertaining and he's right.
You can tell that that's a guy that's a fan. He's
right, and he's entertaining and he's right, man. Yeah.
So
what was I going to say? What was it? I asked you to go in a minute as well. But right. I really want to tell you I never got around to telling my point about watching Human Nature tonight. And the overwhelming thought I had going through it is how much I prefer the book version, the Virgin Sylvester McCoy version. It's I just was wanting to go, really wishing it was that one. Have you ever read it?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, that's one of the ones I wish Big Finish would do an adaptation of. By the way, have you ever heard any of the Big Finish adaptations of the Virgin Range?
No.
Oh, look, if you want, I have them all. I'll give you my.
Oh, cool, man. Well, you've been sending me all the animations, and I've been watching them actually. So I have to thank you again for that, because that's been brilliant, man. Being able
happy to do it. If anybody's interested in,
never got them, and I'm pissed off about that because. It's brilliant because you don't just send me the actual episode, you send me the actual bits and bobs that go with the story.
Oh, you gotta have the bits and bobs. Whoa, they're the important bits.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're like me, because to me, right, I'll watch all them. I don't know about you, I don't know how you do it, right? But if I get on like that, a DVD like that or a Blu-ray like that, this is what I do. I watch all the extras first. Right.
It depends. If it's like I normally watch the episode first. Then
the extras. I don't know what it is. I always seem to watch all the extras first, right? Because then I get all the information about what they were thinking at the time, and then when I watch the actual scene, then I'm like, yeah, I know what they were thinking.
Yeah, I think I still got one more to upload for you. I think. Did I send Invasion?
You sent me the Moon Base. You did. I don't think you sent me Invasion. No.
So I got Invasion and Reign of Terror. I need to upload.
Right, cool. So they'd be the last ones because I got the rest of them. Yeah.
And then Fury from the Deep's coming out. I'm really intrigued to know what the state's going to be next year.
Oh yeah, can't. Yeah. When you get that one,
I think we're in a solid two stories a year right now, rotation.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they're going to get to Evil of the Daleks at some point. Highlander. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're trying to get make it so they can do a box set of because there's not much. There's too many holes to the classic box set for the black and white ones, unless they finish doing the fill in all the gaps.
Yeah, we seem to be buffering quite a lot, says the lad. So listen, I think we should leave it there. Listen, YouTube is having problems, but you see, here's the thing: it's probably buffering now. So if you have missed the stream, if you watch it back, it won't be buffering during the stream. It's just obviously it's not buffering on their side, so it just seems to be a YouTube problem, and it's obviously got to do. See, people tend to forget now. It mightn't be actually YouTube either. It could be your internet. There's so many people at home now using broadband. See, we don't realize a lot of people use their broadband in the office during the day. When they come home, they don't really, sit at home, watch something on the internet because they've been on it all day working. So they'll watch a bit of TV and then go to bed. So there's no surge in the internet, if you get me. But because everybody's home now, everybody's using their broadband at home. So broadband at home is strained a lot. So some of you will have difficulty, especially those in the UK that's using Virgin Media. I'm sorry, I'm going to call them out because Heel versus Babyface tries to do a stream. He has Virgin. I keep telling him, Keep telling them, mate. I said, listen, mate, get rid of Virgin. We had it here. It keeps crashing, right? I know Sky Broadband's a little bit more expensive, but it's so much more worth it. You don't have any problems with it. So I'd recommend them. That's who I'm with. I don't have any problems anymore since we got that. If you are having buffering issues, as I said, it could be to do with your provider or with the fact that YouTube is having some problems. But me and Rabbi are fine here in StreamYard. We haven't actually buffered once tonight. So it looks like StreamYard's on their game anyway. Right, Rabbi, before we go, have you anything up and coming on your channel? Are you coming back here tomorrow night now with me?
No, tomorrow night, no, because it's my Sabbath.
Oh, it's Friday. I keep forgetting because I'm an idiot. Sorry, okay. I do apologize. I will get it into me head that every Friday until Saturday evening you're not available.
Okay, you know what? The movie you want to see is The Frisco Kid, starring Harrison Ford and Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
It's a cowboy movie, and Gene Wilder plays a rabbi in like the cowboy times, and Harrison Ford is like a gunslinger looking after him. And they're being chased also. And when it's the Sabbath, he won't ride on the horse. So you got it's a great movie, by the way. I do actually. You know what? Maybe I'll do a review.
Yeah, do you know what? We'll do that on the Irish Geek or something. Yeah, because we haven't.
That's a movie I would really like to see with you.
I'll tell you what,
I'd love to get Sherilyn on that one as well. That'd be hilarious.
Do that one on the Irish Geek, right? We'll make arrangements for that one, right? Because I know. We'll probably do that Saturday or something, or maybe do it Sunday because it feels like a kind of Sunday matinee.
Right. It's really a fun movie. Yeah. What was I going to say? So today I put out a review, a recap and a review of the Jodie story that Joy Wilkinson wrote on the story. So I read it so you don't have to, and I found it like an interesting like curio because like it's Doctor Who with this era Doctor Who without Chibnall's influence so much on it. So it's not quite as awful. It's not good because it's still a Jodie episode, which just makes anything unwatchable. But it's interesting. So I put out a review of that out today, and also a video I do recommend of mine. I put out the announcement of this new Star Wars. The woman writing it had this like video out, which was talking about just being insane. So we review that together, and it's very funny. Oh, if anybody has any like shilly articles that just make you mad, get under your skin, like you just send them to me because I've got this new thing going where if I find a shilly article, I will read it on a video together, and we will roast it, and it's freaking hilarious. And there's so many shilly articles. I think we need because like you keep reading these articles where these guys are just shilling so hard for like.
Well, here then you should do the one. You should do the article on the trans writer that says that all gay men are actually trans women.
That's okay. Honestly, that's kind of low hanging fruit. I'm thinking more like reviews of Doctor Who season 12. Yeah, the ones that
those kind of ones. Oh,
they're hilarious.
There's one by our favorite time lady Beth. She put one out in what was it, Digital Spy Guys, or was it Screen Rant? She says Chris Chibnall. Just write in Chris Chibnall's Timeless Children story arc almost fits into canon or almost perfectly.
I remember that. No, I roasted that one.
Yeah. I actually did a whole video on her. That's an article. Actually, read it, Rabbi, because when you read it, she doesn't actually give that evidence at all. You can actually tell that she's only a new Who fan that has gotten.
It's very, very plain.
Yeah, she's chill.
I just saw, maybe this is old news. Disney has furloughed 100,000 staff.
Have they? What a dirty bunch of assholes!
Wow, 100. That's 100,000 people you just laid
imagine
off.
They've got money, right? I know every company's got, but they've got.
No, they don't. If they're furloughing 100,000 staff, they're in deep trouble.
Nah, they're looking.
Yes, they are. It's like listen, you don't furlough that number. That gives you
their staff, and they've got millions, man.
No, they got billions, but they got But no, if you furlough staff and you don't, and you're financially viable to keep them, then you're open for a significant
All
lawsuit.
right. Well, yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
It's a big deal. It's a very big deal.
When is the next watch along? Says Mark, because Mark has actually did enjoy the last one very much. So
Well, I think
that he
on
wants
Sunday
to do
we're pretty
another
stable.
one. On Doctor Who,
I guess Sunday, right?
well, we're doing one on Sunday. We're doing the long game, Doctor Who.
Right.
Season,
The next big
season
one
one,
is
and then we went to season 2, and then we're going to do season 3. So we're going to go all the way up. That one that we did, the tweet along one, we just did that one because that happened to be my favorite 2-part. Well, I say trilogy because I think that's why we had a turn left onto that, because Rabbi actually agreed with me that it is kind of a trilogy, and actually Rabbi's do you know what I loved about that? I love the fact that Rabbi at the start remembered remembered liking it but didn't think it was amazing, but then was sitting there with me and we were watching, and you could hear all the way through Rabbi's mood and my mood, right? We're just like two little kids again, just enjoying fun. It was brilliant. And just reading out some of the tweets as well. It was just absolute, seriously, that one was brilliant. I'm not doing the next one that they're doing, the official one that they're doing, because that's Human Nature, Family of Blood.
The next one after that, I think, is Girl in the Fireplace.
The next one after that is Girl in the Fireplace. Now, I do like that episode.
I like that episode as well. They're choosing well, aren't they?
Yeah. So, me and Rabbi, if Rabbi's around for that one, if that happens to be on a day where he can...
Yeah, that's a Thursday.
Me and Rabbi are on that one. So, that'll be the next. We will definitely do that one because... me and Rabbi really do enjoy. Well, I do anyway.
I enjoy it,
and Rabbi wouldn't be here if he didn't, because Rabbi is not that type of person. He couldn't be fake. So.
Oh yeah, I see. That's really true.
So,
that's why I never play cards.
And even Cheryl was saying that she says she's make a good team. We do make a good team. I think me and Rabbi do. Like Rabbi is not afraid to jump in there and say if he disagrees with me, and I'm certainly not afraid, and he knows that. But the thing about it is, me and Rabbi, it's grand. It's done. It's part of the show. We have different opinions. We move on, right?
It's like we have different opinions, like normal people do.
But when it comes to this sort of doctor, we're always going to be in agreement. This is the kind of stuff that makes Doctor Who fans excited, happy, And Girl in the Fireplace. It's actually, I love that scene where where Mickey and Rose are on the table, and the Doctor comes in with the tie and the sunglasses on.
Oh yeah! Look, it's the oncoming
storm. Wrapped around his head. He's coming in pretending to be drunk, and he tells them, "I think I invented the banana daiquiri a couple of centuries there." He says, "Bananas are good. Always bring a banana to a party or something like that." And then, that whole scene, I just love that episode. Actually, it's sad at the end. That was actually, that whole letter was actually written in old French dialect, and then they translated it into English. The whole note itself, there was a whole personal thing behind that letter at the time I read. I'll see if I could track down what the whole letter, but there was something behind the letter anyway. But yeah, it's very poignant, that episode, especially when the fireplace goes out and the Doctor's all sad and shit. So when people say he loved Rose, well, he didn't really. Madame de Pompadour came along and that turned his head. Look how sad he got. He cried.
Well, actually, I actually think that's because I think my whole take with that was I always assumed that was because that Rose had awakened romantic feelings within him without him realizing what they were really. Because I don't think that happened with the Ninth Doctor, with the Eccleston Doctor, but because he totally regenerated into a very dishy-looking guy, and Rose was totally horny for him. I think that like awakened some kind of sexuality in him, which he hadn't had before
Maybe.
for at least a long time. And I think that's how he ended up with Madame Pompadour. But what he Rose. That's what my take.
And this is why I like you, Rabbi. You always come up with these things that I wouldn't even dream of coming up with. But listen, I'm going to let you go because...
Right. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend.
I'm back tomorrow, Mark. Yeah, I'm back tomorrow. Rabbi isn't because it's Sabbath. So Rabbi is off for...
Day of rest, and I do enjoy it.
He's off for his little rest to do his stuff. He'll be back Saturday. We'll be back Saturday with Rabbi. We have look at me and Rabbi, as I said, are going to be doing a lot of stuff together. We enjoy doing streams together. I really do, anyway.
I said, we do one today.
I was saying to Cheryl, I said, look, I actually look forward to when you even text me and all. It's like, oh, Rabbi's in. Cheryl say, oh, so the Rabbi is on. I said, yeah, and she actually found it amazing that there was a rabbi, a priest, and me.
That was so cool.
I thought that was great. We have to get Father Miller. If you're there as well, Father Miller, we have Chris Miller. We have to get you back on again. That was great.
Yeah, that was really. Actually, I got an email. I meant to do that.
Yeah, because you.
Right,
yeah,
okay, I'm going to say good night, everybody.
Right, good night, Rabbi. You look after yourself, pal. Thanks for joining me.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And to everybody in the chat, thank you for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed tonight. And thank you for the super chats. Also, Daniel, thanks for showing up because I know you're a bit busy right now, pal. And listen, don't be apologizing. You know what I mean? Blue Bonnet is a friend. We help each other's channels out. So I've no problem with that. You don't need to even be apologizing, mate. Go and do what you have to do. Do what you want to do. I said the same to Blue Bonnet. She was asking for advice, on Twitter, asking people what they wanted her to do. As I said, do whatever makes you happy, and whatever the direction you want to bring your channel, wherever the route you want to bring your channel, that's up to yourself. You're the one that runs the channel. You'll always have my support anyway. You're a friend. You've been like we suffered through, me, you, Jason, Rabbi. We suffered through 12 weeks of Doctor Who together. So I'll always support Blue Bonnet and Jason, what they do on their channels. So Daniel, you don't need to apologize. And Sunday is your birthday. Don't worry, I'll give you a shout on your birthday, Daniel, anyway. And you don't have to mod on your birthday, pal. You don't have to mod on your birthday. If you want, you can come on the stream for your birthday. If you like, if you have the time, of course, you might be having a few beers and a bit of cake or something. You might have some other plans. But if you don't, you're more than welcome to join me live on your birthday. Just make sure you wear your birthday hat now. You can't come on unless you wear a birthday hat. And I'll tell you what, if you wear a birthday hat, I'll go out and get one. Should be able to get a birthday hat somewhere. If not, I'll just wear my cowboy hat. How about that? So, yeah. So happy birthday in advance, but we'll wish you another happy birthday on Sunday anyway. So if you haven't subscribed to Daniel's channel, please do. Oh, by the way, I just want to give a special mention to his YouTube hub. Daniel has a YouTube hub. Daniel promotes channels on Facebook. Do you know, I have to say this. I have to give it to him. The amount of work that he puts into promoting channels, different people's streams, unbelievable. So his work there should be praised because, he took it upon himself. He knows that YouTubers are struggling out there right now because of all of this business. Unfortunately, I've even seen myself, and I have to admit, numbers are down, but that's because of this whole thing that's happening around the world. So I'm not worried. I don't have to do cheap little things like other YouTubers are doing. having a go at me just to get attention. So I pay attention to them so they get a few views or whatever. I'm not worried. In the long run, my channel will be fine, just like everybody else's. But Daniel is one of those guys, as I said. I said it. He's a little gem in this fandom. He got me and Matrix Lord talking when we weren't actually talking, when we were down each other's throats. Now he's gone around promoting YouTube channels while going on other people's streams and has his own YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't subscribed to Daniel's channel, I would recommend that you all do, because right now Daniel is probably one of the hardest working streamers, promoters out there of YouTube content, and he deserves that recognition. So go and support his channel, please, and support all those other people's channels that I mentioned as well, because they're all good friends and they've all worked hard to get here, and they deserve user support. Trust me when I say someone deserves your support, they deserve your support. So support Daniel's channel, Blue Bonnet, Jason's channel, Rabbi's channel, everybody that's been on this channel. Support their channels. They're good guys. And of course, the great Bowlestrek as well. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, which I'd be very surprised if you didn't, I'm only messing, but if you haven't and you're listening from the outside for the first time and you're wondering whether you want to subscribe to this channel or not, I'd please recommend my channel. I do recommend my channel. Listen, I'm straight talking. You'll always get the truth here. I don't bullshit. I give my opinion. Some people like it, some people don't. At the end of the day, it's my opinion, But as I said, I don't pussyfoot around. I say it as it is. Some people like that and some people don't. Some people call me